Thank you very much for your nice warm comments. It's interesting to see how the Indian American community, the diaspora, is so active on the Hill. It's a second continuous day I'm here in the evening. So full compliments to all of you celebrating the Diaspora, Congress, and India-US bilateral partnership, as Nancy just mentioned. And you very rightly pointed out one of the most friendly persons we have in the State Department. Congressman, what a pleasure to have you here. FIIDS and my good friend Khande Rao, who I remember from 2014 and particularly in 2015 when we organized the program in California for Prime Minister. I know that everybody was trying to find you just before the program started. I think it's very appropriate that we are in Capitol today because US Congress has played a special and a pioneering role in getting this partnership going, this cooperation. And I don't mean it with any negativity at all, but they were a step ahead of the administration years back. So that's why I would love to recognize the role which the Congress has played in the past and continues to play. Similarly, the diaspora. The diaspora is largely responsible for ensuring the active role which the Congress has played. And so regularly, continuously, even during a very difficult time. And today, of course, we are sitting here when things are certainly looking up. And as I have often mentioned, given the privilege I have had of serving here a number of times, that it's always been up and down. The challenges never cease, and I'm sure Nancy will bear me out. But what's important is that there is a very strong connect today between the two countries. And it starts with what I often mention about democratic values, of both the democratic polity and the society both of our countries have. And I also mention in that we, like the American society, get to experience democracy right from the start in our family. Every day in the evening, if we ever sit as a family, we get to see the independence of views and the democratic spirit. And that actually has played a very significant role that often the hardest of issues we can sit across with our friends, whether from the administration or with the US Congress, to actually discuss. Like in a family, all views will not be same. That is the normal human tendency. And similarly, our friendship doesn't have to be identical. But we have the strength of being able to sit across each other and discuss. And that continues. If we come to the present situation and we look at the global order all around, you will see that increasingly there is a requirement, there is a need for multi-country partnerships to come together. And COVID was something which so clearly showed us. And here I quote President Biden, who said, "No one is safe till everyone is safe." And all of you have seen many countries who tried to close down, close themselves up, still saw that the COVID could sneak in. So that's why plurilateral understandings, groupings, partnerships are very critical. And my friend mentioned about the Indo-Pacific, about the Quad, about I2U2, about Indo-Pacific cooperation. All these are gaining more and more importance and significance. And to that, if we add the kind of transformative changes that are happening in India, and I'll just mention a few, and you will see the depth of that changes. Of course, we all know that India, despite being an ancient civilization, is a very, very young country. And I have been going around and mentioning this for the past many years. Whenever any ambassador from here goes to India, I always say that do reach out to the young in India. And we have to be mindful that India is 50% of 1.4 billion people, 26 years and below. So energy, innovation, startups, that is the rule of the day. They come very, very naturally. In fact, added to that is the technology revolution which is happening in India. Now, if I mention to you that there are 1.2 billion subscribers for mobiles, 1.2 billion. That means one mobile subscriber is added every second in India. Similarly, 3 internet subscribers are added every second for the last 5 to 7 years. So there are a total of 825 million internet subscribers in India. Look at the extent of the spread that is here. And mind you, the cost of data has come down by 98%. 98% in the last 4 years. That is revolutionary. And we are all aware that we have created a digital identity for almost 1.3 billion people. And this digital identity is available to everyone, including all commercial firms, completely free. What impact has that had? Whether Aadhaar card or digital payments like UPI, or even confirming anybody's identity can be done through public space. That is, digital credentials of everyone can be verified. That's the kind of utility which many of the private companies have used in India. So it should not surprise us if today I say that the largest world's digital transactions take place in India. 48 billion transactions. And that has all happened in the post-COVID world. That's the kind of revolutionary changes those are happening. And it's also getting reflected in our relationship. Look at the ISET. Just a few months back, both the NSAs have brought together. And ISET includes semiconductors, quantum, defense, space, telecom. And technology is also visible across many other important sectors which are also important for United States, like healthcare, vaccines, energy, battery technology, education, through which many of you came here. But today, there's a scope to widen it. I often mention that we have 200,000 Indian students here, 2/3 of them in the STEM areas. Like most of the Indian Americans here, these kids bring value and competitive edge to United States economy. That's the kind of partnership which is emerging. But we are a big market, no doubt. Lots of countries recognize that, including some who maybe are detractors. The market they certainly want to enter. But if we just look at the Air India-Boeing deal, it will point out to the strength of the Indian market. And if I add there that we are looking to add almost 125 airports in India, you can imagine the kind of extent it has on tourism. I met one of the top CEOs of one of US hotel chains, and they are planning to expand big time in India, anticipating the kind of expansion that is going to take place. But I also want to mention that this is also going into co-production, co-development, and which is very visible if I give you examples of Apple, First Solar, Google, etc. I don't want to take too much time, but my main effort here was to tell you that this is a relationship, a partnership for the future. We all can talk of ours about what has happened in the past. But with a young India, we need to be looking in the future. And that's what exactly is happening. India is bringing scale, affordability, innovation, startup energy to the technology strength of United States. That's the kind of future in which both the countries will be working together. They are already working together. And here, the Diaspora and the US Congress, which has played a pioneering role in the past, has another important role to play to ensure that we continue in the right and the positive direction. As Nancy mentioned, that in the last 4 weeks, 3 top cabinet members of United States, the Treasury Secretary, the Commerce Secretary, and Secretary of State were in India. In the last 3 months, top 15 cabinet members from each side have been touching base with each other. And if I tell you, in the last 2 years, President Biden and Prime Minister Modi have interacted in person, virtually, at least 30 times. This is only a reflection of the way this relationship is going. And in the coming month, they are again going to meet twice, and perhaps later again. So, once again, my heartiest congratulations to FIIDS, my compliments to all the congressmen I see here, and I see the latest member of what Raja mentioned here of the Samosa Club. Great to see you here. Once again, wish you all the very best. Stay well and do well. Thank you.